How did the Spanish Reconquista succeed in New Mexico? Imagine a land where native communities had thrived for centuries, fiercely independent and proud. Then, after a brief period of freedom, foreign powers aimed to take control once again. That's what happened in New Mexico during the late 1700s. The Spanish had been pushed out after the Pueblo Revolt of 1780, but they didn't give up. They wanted their land back and worked hard to regain it. The Spanish Reconquest started in 1692 with Governor Diego de Vargas leading the effort. He brought soldiers, missionaries, and native allies to reassert Spanish authority. Vargas used a mix of diplomacy and military force. He promised the Pueblo people safety and religious freedom if they accepted Spanish rule and Christianity. Some Pueblos agreed, but others resisted fiercely. A big reason the Spanish succeeded was their alliances with certain native groups. These allies often had their own reasons for supporting the Spanish, like rivalries with other Pueblo communities. Their help gave the Spanish a big advantage in battles and sieges. The Spanish also had better weapons and artillery, which made it easier to overpower the native defenses. Another factor was that the Pueblo communities had split apart after the revolt. They no longer fought as a united front. Instead, each community returned to its own ways, making it easier for the Spanish to negotiate with smaller groups. This division made resisting the Spanish much harder. The Reconquest was not quick or easy. There were many battles, sieges, and negotiations. Vargas and his troops used both force and promises of protection to bring the Pueblos under control. Over several years, the Spanish re-established their presence, reoccupying towns and rebuilding missions. From a Latin cultural point of view, the Reconquest was seen as restoring order and spreading Christianity. The return of Franciscan missionaries helped reintroduce Catholic beliefs and practices. The Spanish also re-established their laws, settlements, and economic systems. They reorganized towns and brought back colonial officials to run the region. In the end, the Spanish Reconquest in New Mexico meant that Spanish language, religion, and customs became dominant again. This period shaped the region's identity for generations. Today, the influence of that time can still be seen in the architecture, traditions, and cultural practices of New Mexico. The success was a mix of military strength, strategic alliances, and divided native communities, all working together to bring the land back under Spanish control.